Hello, students. Good morning, all of you. Today, for the coming examination, according to me, I feel that this is a very important question. John Donne, as a metaphysical poet or as a poet, John Donne is rightly considered to be one of the greatest love poets in the history of English poetry. Although he wrote few satires, occasional poems, verse letters, and large number of divine poems, but he made his own contribution to the purpose of English love poetry. In all, Donne has composed 75 love poems, including elegies. It is, however, the number or quantity of poems that really matter. What actually is of importance is the quality of the poem that he wrote. Our approach towards Donne's poetry should be, in all fairness, be qualitative and not quantitative. Donne wrote variety of poems. They may be divided into three categories. First, to the first category, we may assign those poems which are flippant, outrageous, or cynical in tune. Donne wrote these poems in his youth when he was a man about the term and when he did not have to care very much for the problems of his life. These poems are utterly unplatonic in the sense. Here, Donne expresses his feeling of contempt for a spiritual love. He does not believe that love is a union of souls or a marriage of minds. In fact, he looks upon a spiritual love as a patent kind of nonsense. He declares in the most emphatic manner that love has been and is only physical, and that any escape from the truth is a high sounding humbug. The most representative example of this category is song Go and Catch a Falling Star. Donne's attitude towards life and what we find it in these poems should not be taken seriously. He does not intend to come out with philosophy of love. Through these poems, what he really wants are to be witty, and wit is perhaps the most significant factor in those poems. To the second group, we may assign those love poems of Donne in which he tries by every possible means to win mistress or beloved over his own side. These poems may be called the poems of flattery or courtship. In the history of English poetry, we come across a large number of poems, and this kind of poetry is usually called Petrarchan poetry after the great Italian poet Petrarch. There are, however, certain fundamental points of difference between the traditional Petrarchan poetry and Donne's love poems. In the traditional Petrarchan love poetry, The mistress is always shown to be indifferent to the lover. Moreover, the mistress in it is patent in a manner as to glorify her into some kind of a divine being. It is natural then that the lover goes on requesting her, weeping before her to be kind to him, but she remains as cold as ever. The lover in Donne's poems does not only request or only weep, he also threatened the mistress. The mistress in Donne's poetry is made very much of flesh and blood. To the final group of Donne's love poetry belong to these love poems which deal with perfect contempt and happiness in love and which celebrate reciprocate love, love which is given or taken. In many of his poems, love is looked upon as a union of soul and something that is pure and sacred. In poem after poem, Donne keeps on telling us that there is a world of love just as there is a world of human being. He contrasted these two worlds and compares to the conclusion that while this physical world is ours is full of fear, anxieties, and uncertainties, but the world of love is an abode of trust, peace, and security. The lover in these poems believes the immortality of soul and they think and believe and behave like saints. It is not very important whether or not we get any philosophy in Donne's poem. There are four things which we should take into consideration while discussing poems of Donne. The first is that Donne's poetry combines variety with an intensity. Donne is largely intellectual, argumentative, or analytic in his poems, but also pays due regard to emotion or feeling. Secondly, Donne's poetry is poetry traditional and poetry individualism, and thus we get a peculiar mixture of tradition and individual talent in it. Thirdly, Donne makes use of meaningful images, simple but suggestive diction, communicative rhythm, and colloquial style in his poems. And lastly, Donne's poems are psychological. They move towards one situation to another, and in this sense, they are highly dramatic. Thanks. In short, we conclude that the poems of John Donne teach us that a love, especially a spiritual love, is a way of life which teaches a man to live happy. A man's life is without such a spiritual or metaphysical love.